It was rumored that Spider-Man himself would be swinging into Square Enix's Avengers game that is slated to come out on September 4th, 2020. Well, that rumor has proven to be true, but it comes with some caveats, explanations, and ruminations. The official PlayStation Twitter account confirmed the rumor by tweeting out the following, quote, "Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man comes to Marvel's Avengers, exclusively on PlayStation," end quote. It was followed by an article on the official PlayStation blog that had Jeff Adams, associate art director of Crystal Dynamics, gushing about his love for the character. And there is no denying that he loves the wall crawler based off of his writings. Reading Jeff's post on the PlayStation blog makes me so happy that someone who truly cares for Spider-Man will be taking the reins on the character. It really seems like they have a fantastic team of developers and artists who will do the webhead justice. They cite Steve Ditko and John Romita Jr. as sources of inspiration for their rendition of Spider-Man. What more could a Spider-Fan want? Well, actually, maybe for him to be on all platforms and not just Sony. Maybe not fragment the player base and deliver additional special designed post-game content to one platform while assumingly leaving out all the rest. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. I said it too. Well, Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man, so it only makes sense that he will be exclusive to PlayStation. And that is where you're partly wrong and partly true. You see, Sony owns the film rights to Spider-Man. They came to an agreement with Disney when he was introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I simply do not have the time to delve into that. Spider-Man has had a long history of being in video games. Hell, one of my first games I ever remember playing as a kid was Spider-Man Separation Anxiety on the SNES. Games such as Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, Edge of Time, Ultimate Spider-Man, the list can go on and on. Back then, those games were made for almost all available platforms, but as time goes on, things could have changed, and frankly, I haven't bothered to look into who owns the video game rights until just recently. I'm not sure why, but when Marvel Spider-Man launched exclusively on the PlayStation 4, it just made sense. My brain said, yeah, that checks out. They own it. Makes sense. They would want to keep it exclusive to their console. But Sony doesn't own the rights to Spider-Man. Marvel does. Case in point is all the LEGO Marvel games available on every platform, where Spidey is one of the premier characters. Or all the mobile games, or hell, even the most recent Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that was exclusive to the Nintendo Switch featured Spider-Man not only as a playable character, but smack dab on the middle of the box art. It isn't Sony making all these LEGO games, it isn't Sony making all those mobile games, so the rights to Spider-Man must belong to Marvel, and they are simply licensing it out to developers. That is the only rationale that I can come up with. In an interview with IGN, Insomniac CEO Ted Price said it was actually Connie Booth from Sony who brought up the idea of them making a Marvel game. She came to him and simply asked his opinion on the matter. As the details of the deal got worked out, Marvel asked Insomniac to, quote, pick a character that you guys think would work for you, and then we'd love to hear your take on it, end quote. So, at the end of the day, this confirms that it was Marvel who gave Insomniac the go-ahead to make a Spider-Man game. The reason it is exclusive is because of a partnership that Sony and Marvel had at the time. Looking at it from a gameplay and development point of view, it's got to be hard work making an all-new character in a video game. You've got to make art, make a 3D model, animate it, get a voice actor, maybe motion capture, have balanced combat system for them, writing new story content to introduce them, make all new cosmetic gear and loot, etc. There's a lot that goes into making just one character. That is a lot of work to only put that character on one platform. A lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of resources. But there could be a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm most likely grasping at straws here. But on the PlayStation blog, the final paragraph has a sentence that reads, quote, as we've promised, he, meaning Spider-Man, will be available at no additional cost to owners of the base game, exclusively on PlayStation, end quote. Maybe I'm getting my hopes up, but maybe Spider-Man will be available on other platforms at some additional cost. Maybe gamers will have the ability to purchase the hero at a later time. I'm not sure, but that last sentence just gives me a little slimmer of hope.